Impressive win Saturday against Michigan, Mike. What did you take out of the game? How well did you think the Lions played? You got to go out to Ann Arbor. Your impressions of the big house?
I really thought, well, the big house is being remodeled a little bit, and I like it better. It creates some of the things they've done have created the illusion of a little bit more intimacy, and I like it better. It's not done yet, but I think it's going to be much better. But that's I thought Penn State played their best game of the year. Had an opportunity to make big plays in the passing game and really did it. And I thought Darryl Clark had a great game. I thought Graham Zug, our local kid, makes good, had another big game with three touchdowns. And I thought by far his best game against a big-time opponent. A lot of his good stuff has come against Temple and that kind of thing. And I thought he did great, and they utilized the tight end very well. Andrew Quarles had a big game. Penn State is, they're getting better, and the season is starting to take shape now. You can look ahead and see what's in front of them, and big things are still possible.
Okay, I read in your article that before the game, Penn State's in the tunnel, Michigan comes out of their end, they're in the same tunnel. Michigan's sort of woofing it up a little bit, and of all people to sort of get into it with him, Jopa was jumping around down there, and Darryl Clark goes, man, he's ready to go.
82-year-old Jopa was literally hopping up and down, and I guess that gets the troops fired up, as you can understand.
How much did Joe want this win on Saturday?
Well, I think he one of the things that he talked about a lot in the press conference today is he thinks that some of his players aren't getting enough credit. They're being underrated. They're not getting enough recognition. And how he knows this when he famously doesn't pay any attention to the media is one of life's great mysteries, Starkey. But there it is. And I think he's come to believe in this team a lot more. I think he's come to trust them a lot more to go out and make plays and not go into a shell in these kind of situations. You're on the road, you're at Michigan, it's raining, it's crappy outside. It would have been a classic example of Joe Pak going into his shell and getting back on his heels and kind of playing defensively. We've seen it in the past. We did not see it Saturday. He really, they really kept the pressure on.
Which is unique because a lot of times they play conservative in Ann Arbor. It didn't happen on Saturday. How does this unfold now down the stretch? How do they look for the conference? How do they look in the bigger picture for the BCS?
Well, they and Ohio State are the only two teams that have one loss in the league. Iowa is undefeated in the league and overall. So if Iowa wins out, obviously they're going to be the Big Ten champion and they're going to get the automatic berth in the BCS games, which doesn't mean that Penn State can't still go to a BCS game. They can still. If Penn State wins out, and let's say Iowa would lose at Ohio State, which I think is a very real possibility, then they would tie for the Big Ten title, but Iowa would still get the BCS because they beat Penn State head-to-head. But again, that doesn't mean that Penn State can't get an at-large berth in a BCS game. Some of the people that Phil Steele is a guy who does a great yearbook who I pay a lot of attention to. He has Penn State playing Alabama in the Sugar Bowl.
Oh, wow.
I'm rooting for that. That would be very cool. I'm looking forward to New Orleans and all that stuff. But there is there still is a very good chance that they could go to a BCS bowl.